Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rio Rancho High School, the site of tonight's Open Cup matchup between UDA, NMSU, and New Mexico United. The 2023 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined tonight by Chris Hurst. And Chris, we're going to have a ton of fun tonight, a historic first-time matchup between two New Mexico teams in the tournament proper. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's great to be back, Tyler, right, with alongside you here on a beautiful New Mexico spring evening, no less, right?
To say the least, the wind has been howling nonstop all day here in the Albuquerque metro area here at Rio Rancho, some of the same. And so it's going to be a challenge here. Let's jump into the players to watch here tonight. Starting off first for the home side for New Mexico, it's the Albuquerque native, Sandia High School graduate, Ford Parker.
Yeah, Ford Parker made his debut for New Mexico United last year in the same cup competition in the 5-0 win against Las Vegas. Will be tested tonight, especially with those challenging conditions that we talked about.
On the other side for UDA, we're going to be keeping an eye on this striker. It's Jose Puente. He scored the only goal of the match in the last round for them to beat Park City Red Wolves 1-0 from the penalty spot for the Mexico City native.
Full of confidence, looking to maybe make a name for himself. He'll be something that someone that New Mexico United's backline will definitely have to keep an eye out for.
New Mexico making their third appearance in the U.S. Open Cup, Chris. Who can forget the memorable run in 2019 that saw them beat Phoenix Rising, beat Colorado Switchbacks. Then they went on, took on the big boys in Rapids. FC Dallas knocked them off and advanced all the way to the quarterfinals against Minnesota United.
Yeah, what a run it was. And obviously that's why this competition is held dear by New Mexico United and New Mexico United fans specifically. Everyone dreams of another run just like year one.
It's going to be a ton of fun. As we mentioned, we're going to go ahead and step aside for just a moment. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
This is a story about creativity, education, entrepreneurship, and cookies.
Well, mostly about cookies. Want to try one?
Kristen, where'd you learn to bake?
My grandma was my first teacher. She told me it was okay to be creative and take risks.
Like what?
Like green chili cookies. I haven't quite cracked the code on those yet.
Bummer. Was it a risk to open a bakery?
Definitely. But CNM gave me the skills to turn that passion into a reality.
That's amazing. At CNM, it's one college, infinite possibilities.
I hear them chatting the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear them chat with the boys, man so tough, but mans keep walking. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch man, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees, I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east.
Tonight's match is presented by CNM, New Mexico's largest and premier community college. Let's go ahead and dive into the starting lineups here tonight, presented by Bud Light. We'll start first here with the home side, New Mexico United. This is how Zach Prince is selecting his men for tonight. Chris, as we mentioned, Ford Parker getting the start in goal. We're going to see a number of debutants here for New Mexico, 5 in fact. Timothy Zali, Kyle Colonna, Jose Sosa, Michael Vaparwo, and Josh Doling all getting starts here for the black and yellow today.
Yeah, obviously Portillo and Suggs, the senior guys within the group. Hurst getting the late nod as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see, obviously, some guys who are really trying to push to make the team for that next league game.
And there you see the bench for New Mexico. You see Santi Moar, Sergio Rivas, Will Seymour. So obviously some first-team choices there for Zach Prince should he need to go that way. On the other side, for UDA, we're going to see Mario Castillo in goal. He's going to be wearing the number 98. You're going to see a back line of Birch, Garcia, Olsen, and Morris. In the midfield, you'll see Cavallo and Gudino. And up front, we'll see Kyler Huck, Eduardo Medina, and the aforementioned Jose Puente. And so UDA, on your screen, you'll see them. They're going to be wearing the white kits with black numbers. for New Mexico, debuting their brand new third kit, and we are off here in the U.S. Open Cup second round, a historic first-time matchup between two New Mexico clubs here in the tournament proper. And there with the ball at midfield, it's Cavallo. And nearly giving that one away, it was the Englishman Daniel Bruce giving chase early on. And it's going to be a throw in here for the black and yellow. Garvanyan goes back to Portillo. Justin Portillo with the only goal scored for the black and yellow thus far this season in 2 USL championship games played. First was a 1-0 win at Miami in week 2. As this ball gets forward, the Scotsman Greg Hurst giving chase. However, great defense there. It's going to result in a goal kick. So UDA content to play short here early on. Laid off and just out of reach there of Dane Morris. It's going to be another throw in here for New Mexico. Dane Morris, the junior out of Texas, civil engineering major. Out to Josh Suggs, the Las Cruces native. Suggs, the captain for New Mexico United over the first 4 seasons for the club. No longer donning the armband as tonight it's Justin Portillo. However, during league play, that duty has been taken over by Sam Hamilton. Hamilton not in the 18 this evening. Here's Daniel Bruce on the near side. Got a little bit of space. Bruce gets into the 18. Cuts it across, and New Mexico early on scoring, and the black and yellow, check that, the turquoise and black take the lead here 3 minutes in.
I mean, what a start for New Mexico United. It's been a little bit of a struggle for them early on this season, creating chances, and Daniel Bruce just gets a ton of space out on that right wing, puts a lovely low, hard cross in there. And I believe is that Sosa attacking. You can see his movement just there, just attacking that 6-yard box there, wide open, just slots it in underneath the keeper.
That was Jose Sosa scoring his first goal for New Mexico United. And that's how you make your debut for a club, Chris, is early on, New Mexico on top of UDA 1-0. And so already back underway. It's the former UCLA Bruin off the mark here in 2023. Wearing the number 19, Chris. Just a little bit of trivia for you. There's only been one New Mexico United player that I can recall to wear that number. It's David Estrada, another former UCLA Bruin. Here's Bruce once again. Already with an assist, Daniel Bruce. Back to Justin Portillo. Now Josh Suggs has plenty of space on the far side. He's going to be closed down by Rivas. Back to Portillo now, the New Orleans native. The Iceman, Justin Portillo, probably at home out there with how cold it is, Chris. It is a bone-chilling wind outside. As we mentioned earlier, it's been nothing but windy here in the Albuquerque metro area over the past 48 hours as Portillo was looking to connect with Suggs instead. Finds Sosa, who's run off the ball. Pass goes back, and it goes all the way to Daniel Bruce now. Here's Doling, the former St. Louis City man. Lays it off. Garvanyan, another Albuquerque native. It's Milo Garvanyan, has his pocket picked. And great work there defensively from Keen Garcia. Portillo will go cross pitch to Josh Suggs. So that first goal scored by Jose Sosa, brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. This match started so quickly here, Chris, didn't get a chance to take care of some housekeeping notes. Wanted to go into our injury report brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work? Ben Sherman can help. Just one name, on the injury list for New Mexico. That is Christian Nava, who will be sidelined for the entirety of the season due to a lower body injury. UDA looking to break here and run off the ball. That was Kyler Huck. New Mexico back in possession. Garvanyan looking for Doling. Doling goes to Bruce, who goes down, draws the foul, and a yellow card is going to be issued to number 14 midfielder Marco Millen. Yellow cards brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. When you've been fouled, call Will Ferguson and Associates, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. You can see it was a pretty heavy challenge there on the Englishman Daniel Bruce. And that's a sight not foreign to New Mexico United players. Is Chris, you typically see Daniel Bruce coming on late in games and frustrating opponents. This time it happening just here in the 6th minute where that card was issued. Portillo looks to play this one in, takes a skip off of one of the UDA players' heads. I believe that was Cavallo. It's going to be a throw in here for New Mexico.
All New Mexico United early on here, right? You can see every time that UDA trying to get out, it's just New Mexico United just so quick on the press, so hungry, and they can almost, sense maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe from the UDA team there, and New Mexico United just pouncing all over it right now. So hungry in everything they're doing.
Zali goes to ground with a heavy challenge, and UDA now looking to break. This is Huck. Heavy touch takes him back. Lays it off here for Morris. Garcia now. Garcia is going to ping this one long. Looking to connect with Rivas. And Suggs deals with that one. And that's going to give us time for this 529 game update. Brought to you by the Education Plan, New Mexico's state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com. It's Daniel Bruce off to the races once again, Chris. And Bruce with some fancy footwork blows by the defender. Little give and go there with his fellow Englishman, Josh Doling. And that's going to be poked out for another United throw. But Daniel Bruce, check the heat map already.
Yeah, Godino there, I think it was, just bit on the first move by Daniel Bruce, and he just shifts the ball onto his right foot and just takes it around the corner, sits him down. Looks like Bruce is up for this one.
Milo Garvanyan was just announced by the club just a few days ago. And there's Daniel Bruce again showing some sweet feet. New Mexico asking for a handball. Not going to get the appeal. And it's going to be a free kick here. Fiesta Auto free kick for UDA. It's going to be Garcia to take. Keen Garcia, sophomore out of Albuquerque, the mechanical engineering major. Kelowna goes across to Zali. Garvanyan now back to Kelowna. As mentioned, a number of debutants here for New Mexico. Garvanyan, one of them. Gets it back from Portillo, back to Tim Zali. Zali out of Switzerland, the 25-year-old. This one's turned over in the middle of the park. It's Godino. Now Birch. Birch doing his best to work his way around Sosa. Looking for a through ball there, and Garvanyan does well to defend. And here's Bruce picking it up now in the middle of the park. And he'll drop it back to Garvanyan, so New Mexico can reset.
Yeah, it was a good little interception there. You see, that was the first time where UDA had a little spell of possession there, popping the ball around 1-2 touch. First time they've really asked any kind of questions of the backline, the new look backline for New Mexico United tonight, and well dealt with in the end by Garvanian.
Foul going to be called there on Greg Hurst, and a yellow card is shown. 11th minute yellow card for Greg Hurst. Yellow card brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. You can see there on the replays brought to you by TLC Plumbing. TLC, leader in New Mexico when it comes to home and business service needs.
You can see Cavallo just gets there ahead of him. Good little touch, a little quicker to the ball, and Hurst is fully committed. And he catches him, and, referee set a benchmark now. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the game, how he manages that.
Garvanian goes down, draws the foul. Foul going against Eduardo Medina. And we definitely want to recognize how big of an achievement it is for UDA to even be in this match here tonight. An incredible, incredible story. If you don't know about their program, make sure to check it out. It's sort of like an academy program over at NMSU since they don't have a men's soccer team. This side plays in the UPSL. Sosa, the goal scorer in the 3rd minute, is being double teamed and eventually ran off the ball. Our official says it's going to be a throw-in for UDA.
Mexico United fans can already see how comfortable Sosa is on the ball, though. You see how he just shifts the ball so hard. It takes 2 UDA players to try and get him off the ball. Good to see Josh Suggs, obviously playing against NMSU's UDA here, where, the native New Mexican from Las Cruces as well. I'm sure he's enjoying the challenge tonight, too.
All the way back to Ford Parker. I could be mistaken, but I think that's his first touch here in the 13th minute. Which, Chris, it's pretty cold out there. If I was Ford Parker, probably be hoping for a little bit more action instead of just standing around.
Oh, for sure. And normally you want your goalkeeper to get an early touch to kind of get any kind of jitters out that they might have, any kind of nerves. Those early touches really help. But yeah, he's had to wait a few minutes. But you get the impression that Parker might need to be very comfortable with his feet tonight. Let's say it's going to be really challenging. Any kind of balls into the area, any kind of aerial passes are going to be really hard to judge just because of the conditions.
Suggs goes over to Michael Vaparwo. And what a through ball there from Vaparwo. Connects with Suggs, looking for Hurst. And it's dealt with momentarily. Ball still bouncing around the 18. Sosa looking to get a touch, and it's cleared. Here's Doling. The Englishman goes back to Garvanian. And Portillo is going to be ran out. Nice turn there from Medina, and eventually possession given away. Sosa now ran off the ball by Cavallo. And now the foul is called, and another yellow card is shown, and this one shown to Jose Sosa. So a 3rd yellow card shown on New Mexico just 14 minutes in.
So he just clips his ankles, stops the counter-attack in the eyes of the referee there. So, he's stopping an advantage for the opponent. It's a yellow card, so really can't argue too much with that one. And with the numbers that the defenders that New Mexico United had back there, not sure it was necessary as well. So it's a bit of a cheap one from Sosa, unfortunately.
This one goes back to Castillo, the keeper. Castillo able to connect with Gudino, and now it's New Mexico in possession. Here's Vaparwo. Runs out of space, eventually lays it off for Bruce. Garvanian back to Vaparwo.
That was a chance. That was a great ball in by Daniel Bruce. And you can just see on this right-hand side here, Bruce, Vaparwo, and Garvanian just combining one touch, two touch, moving the ball. They eventually spring Daniel Bruce into the right-hand channel there. Puts a lovely early ball. We put it in that corridor of uncertainty that we talk about there. Keeper can't quite get there, and that was a chance for Hurst to get on the end of it.
Yeah, and that's very promising to see the 19-year-old Michael Vaparwo getting involved in something like that. You know, he only came over from Poland just this season. He's got 0 appearances for New Mexico, making his debut here tonight, and that's got to be big for the confidence.
And that's for a few of the guys, right? Like I say, we said in the pre-game, there's a few players on the pitch where maybe they're a little more senior as well, like Daniel Bruce, Josh Suggs, to name a couple there, and maybe they're trying to get into the manager's thoughts for that next starting lineup for the next USL Championship game.
Portillo. You mentioned that next USL Championship game. Justin Portillo will not be participating. Picked up a red card on the weekend in Oakland. So he's getting some minutes here tonight in this U.S. Open Cup matchup. As Daniel Bruce unable to track that one down. It's New Mexico playing on a turf pitch here tonight at Rio Rancho High School. Obviously unable to play at their usual home stadium, Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park, for the simple reason, Chris, that tonight is actually opening night for Isotopes in their season. So
it's really inconsiderate of them.
Here's Kelowna, connects with Josh Suggs. Back to Kyle Kelowna out of Danville, California. Kyle Kelowna actually made it through the ranks as a trialist for New Mexico and made the matchday squad as Bruce sends another one in, looking for his second assist, but the offside flag is up from the AR on the near side. So it's going to result in a free Fiesta Auto free kick here for UDA.
Bruce is just having an absolute field day down this right-hand side here. You can see Sosa's coming in a little more narrow from that left side. And really, I'm assuming that's because they're expecting Josh Suggs to join in from defense, and he's done it just a couple of times, but yeah, it's definitely favored this right-hand side so far.
Garvanyan has to do a little bit of cleanup, able to connect with Ford Parker. Just sends that one long. It's going to be tracked down by Olsen. We're touching on Kyle Kelowna and how he's also making his debut here tonight. Mentioned that he made it as a trialist here into the matchday squad here today. He was a 4-year starter at San Diego State. He was a 2-year captain. He led the Aztecs to a ranking as high as number 14 in the country. Played over 4,500 minutes in his career there, as that one blasted to Castillo, and a great save. But for Kelowna, you bring in somebody that's such a veteran, playing over nearly 5,000 minutes at the NCAA D1 level. This has got to be some great experience for him here tonight as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, some great experience, and you can just see New Mexico United. They're having so much of the ball. They're committing more and more players forward, and you can see that. I imagine the opportunity that UDA are looking for is to try and catch New Mexico United on the counter-attack. We've already seen Sosa's had to take a yellow card to stop a counter-attack, and you can see that New Mexico United leaving themselves 2v2 at the back a couple of times already, so it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that threat moving through the game here.
1-0 our score by way of Jose Sosa in the 3rd minute. Daniel Bruce picking up the assist there. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call. Thanks for hanging out with us. Got some U.S. Open Cup action here this evening on a Tuesday night, coming to you here live from Rio Rancho High School. Greg Hurst able to maintain possession. Play on, says the official. Bruce lines one up. It's going to be blocked by the defender. I believe that was Garcia. It was. And he'll go back to Castillo. Zali with the towering header, and he's going to be called for the foul.
It's a pretty thankless task for Hook up top there. There's a lot of aerial passes into him, and he's just, because of the wind and the direction of the wind, the ball's just hanging up. So it's just inviting the New Mexico United centre-backs to just come straight through the back of him. So it's, he's got, like I say, a pretty thankless task so far tonight.
Looking for Josh Doling. Comes down with it atop the 18. Pokes it forward. Here's Vaparwo. Now Bruce. Dances into the box. Does Daniel Bruce. And Bruce eventually squanders the opportunity as it rolls right into Castillo's hands. Here's UDA looking to build something here offensively. Rivas looking to play it up for Medina. Garvanyan all over that one. Parker tries to connect with Zali, who goes full extension. Unable to bring that one down. Here's the goal scorer in the previous round for UDA as Rivas loses possession and given right back. And UDA could be onto something as this shot is over the crossbar. And it actually connects on the field goal post.
You see New Mexico United just maybe, I don't know if it was them trying to be maybe a little too cute or just a little careless with the ball. And Garvanian from right back there had committed to going forward because he assumed and everyone thought New Mexico United had decent possession of the ball, so he was completely out of possession. And when the ball was given up, they played right into that right back slot for New Mexico United, the left forward slot for UDA, and unfortunately the shot didn't come to anything for them.
And that's probably who you want taking the shot. It was Jose Rivas, as we mentioned, the lone goal scorer in the last match where they beat Park City Red Wolves, which, by the way, I mentioned earlier, that was a big win for UDA. With that win, UDA became the first team affiliated with a college or a university to advance out of the first round in the modern era, Chris. That spans from 1995 to present. And in fact, the only team to even qualify since 95 was BYU of USL League 2. They've qualified 3 times, but they failed to reach the second round. So UDA in uncharted waters here tonight.
And it's great to see. I know in the last round against Park City, I think there was 500 fans, I think they said, that
Yep.
turned up, which was one of the biggest turnouts of that. And obviously it's great to see tonight, especially considering the conditions. Everyone's wearing their beanies and their big jackets. They had to grab them again after spring threatened to turn up. But the crowd has really turned up tonight, and it's a decent crowd out here tonight.
Got a foul called in the center circle, or just outside the center circle, forgive me. It's our coach's spotlight presented by PNM. That is Zach Prince in his second full season in charge of New Mexico United. You can see down there, Chris, just by the attire on the bench, just how cold it is. Zali connects with Greg Hurst. Bruce asking for the run. Elects to keep it, and as Bruce has his pocket picked there by Morris. Morris still in possession. Eventually goes back to Garcia. Here's Keen Garcia. Nice little give and go. Still in possession. Here's Huck. And eventually taken away by the Swiss-American Timothy Zali. Zali, another one of those New Mexico United players making their debut tonight. Most recently spent time in the Swiss League before coming over to New Mexico. He was made over 100 professional appearances in Switzerland. And get this, Chris, Zali was part of a club that moved from 4th to 3rd to the 2nd division in successive seasons.
It is something that I do wish, I know it's probably not the format to say so, but like the promotion and relegation that is in Europe and in other parts of the world, it just adds like that drama is just unbelievable. So to be part of a club that managed that feat, I'm not sure I've heard of anything within the English system that could rival that.
And as the 25-year-old Timothy Zali comes into possession now, can see just by talking to him, he's excited to be here. You know, he's excited to be part of this club, and for him to be able to make his debut here this evening, you know it's got to be something special. Garvanyan once again called on defensively, as he does very well there against Gudino. Bruce now connects with Vaparwo. It's the Las Cruces native Josh Suggs. Suggs among the leaders in minutes played when it comes to USL Championship play. Doling was looking to connect with Suggs. Now it's Medina. Garvanyan well out of position from his normal right back spot to come and get that one. We're back and forth there. Here's Greg Hurst. Lays it off for Bruce. And the Englishman Daniel Bruce causing trouble once again, and the cross goes in right into the waiting arms of Castillo.
Yeah, you can see what he was trying to do there, and he really is getting by the left back here, Morris, on the left back for UDA here. He's getting by him far too easily, and he's able to deliver some crosses. And I think the gesture, I think you would admit that he maybe got the cross wrong a little bit there, came off his foot a little bit wrong there. But what he's looking for is someone to make that run in front of the goalkeeper, in front of the defenders, and everyone's waiting back post right now. So just a little more movement needed inside the box.
Here's Doling, was looking to connect with Hurst, and just a little bit of a miscommunication there between the Englishman and the Scotsman. As you can see, a big crowd on hand here tonight. Over 1,600 tickets were sold for this matchup here tonight, Chris, and you can see a number of those fans braving the conditions, braving the wind and the cold out here to see this historic first-time matchup between two New Mexico clubs in the U.S. Open Cup. In the tournament proper, we'll say. Here's Ali. Suggs chasing this one down on the far side flank. Here's Josh Suggs, one-on-one. Suggs drags it in, still Suggs. And eventually Josh Suggs has his pocket picked as Sosa does his best to get it back. However, UDA remain in possession. Going forward and just running out of gas there, it looked like Millen. Marco Milan out of Oregon, the business operations major, boasting a 3.75 GPA as Garvanyan finds Doling, and Doling just sends it wide. The Englishman looking to open up his New Mexico United account. Not on that one.
You can see Milo Garvanyan there just streaking forward. He just looks so effortless how he gets forward there. And little combination with Bruce, cuts the ball back to Dolan. I think Dolan clips the crossbar there as that shot goes through. It might be an optical illusion from where we were, but it looked like it maybe just clipped there. But a first-time shot, great ball inside. That's the kind of movement ahead of the ball that New Mexico United were crying out for.
Josh Doling out of Hillingdon, England, the 25-year-old. Last season played for St. Louis FC 2 and MLS Next Pro, where he scored 9 goals, had 3 assists in 23 appearances. So New Mexico hopeful that he can shoulder some of that attacking load this season. It's almost an entirely new attacking core for New Mexico this season, Chris. I mean, you still have your Armando Moreno, you still have Chris Wehan, but as you look around, you see Suggs. Not Suggs. You see Doling. You see Santi Moar, among a few other new faces. It's going to be interesting to see the way that they all gel together.
Are you classing Santi Moar as new, or?
Like, it's a little bit different, right? Like, it's not exactly the same team he played with back in 2019, but for this case, yeah, we'll count him as a new player.
And it's exciting, right? It's a younger, and it seems, and again, like, it's not trying to disrespect anything that's come before, but I think, a freshening up was needed, and it injected some pace and some power, and yeah, it's going to be exciting to see. And I think that is what you said about gelling. I think that is one of the issues so far this season. It's still been a little, because of the schedule for New Mexico United, 2 buys in the first 3 weeks has really, stuttered, with their kind of their development and them being able to gel together and get game time together. So it's going to be interesting, like you say, to see how they do gel together there.
Bruce able to regain possession. And Morris all over him. Connects with Colonna. Now Portillo. Justin Portillo, leading goal scorer for New Mexico United last season. Sosa looking to connect with Hurst as that one's given away. Vaparwo, his challenge misses. Garvanyan is going to be called for the foul as Medina goes to ground. And so a Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here for UDA. As Eduardo Medina draws the foul. Get a look there, and Garvanyan just a little too physical. So here's the free kick here for UDA, and it does not get past the first man. It was Justin Portillo sticking a leg out to thwart that. Garcia plays it back in and over the head of everybody back to Ford Parker. Albuquerque native Ford Parker posted a clean sheet in his debut for New Mexico United. It was in this exact round in 2022 last year as New Mexico beat Las Vegas Legends 5-0. That match taking place over at the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex, which was not available for this evening's match. So here we are. Here goes Josh Suggs down the flank on the far side. Finds Doling, and Doling hits it straight to Castillo. And it's still 1-0 here in the 32nd minute.
You see that's a couple of times that Doling, he kind of, Hurst is the one who attacks, you know, the space right in front of the goalkeeper. He makes the dive and run a little closer within the 6-yard box. Doling keeps like pulling out and just trying to drift to the top of the 18-yard box, and it's a couple of sighters he's had. Wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those really testing the goalkeeper later on. However, that one was pretty comfortable for him.
Morris goes back to Olsen. Looking up top for Huck. Outside, here's Rivas. Lays it off now, Gudino. Looking near side. Checks up for Morris. Medina now. Looking for the through ball. Gudino able to chase it down, keep it in play. Medina, as this shot is sent well wide by Milan.
But you can see UDA now, they've really done a good job of getting a foothold in this game here and starting to push the territory back towards New Mexico United's goal a little bit. New Mexico United, when they scored after 3 minutes, I'm sure everyone feared the worst for UDA, that they could just steamroll because they started off absolutely on fire. New Mexico United just stuttered a little bit, struggling to create those clear-cut chances that we talked about earlier on. And now UDA just starting, like I say, territory-wise, starting to creep up the field a bit more.
1-0 here, 34th minute. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call. Chris, you and I were lucky enough to fill in for the season opener on radio a few weeks ago, but this, our first broadcast back in the booth here for the 2023 season. It's gonna be a lot of fun. What are some of the things that you're most looking forward to this year?
I mean, spending more time with you, Tyler.
That's exactly.
That's pretty much it.
That's exactly why I asked you that question.
I knew it. You set me up for it. No, it's going to be, you know, because I think New Mexico United's been kind of like the nearly team for the last few years, and you can see they've been so close, and you can see that with the amount of changes and the acquisitions that they've made going into this season, what they're trying to potentially do hasn't quite, like you say, clicked yet, but it's really, I think the pieces are there for a very successful season. I think when it clicks, it's going to be a really good year.
Josh Suggs called for the foul on the far side. It's going to be set up for a Fiesta Auto free kick. Castillo comes out of his box to take this one. So winner of this one will find out who they're playing on Thursday, as there's still more matches to go tomorrow. And the next round draw will happen Thursday, and so that's when you'll find out who you'll be playing. keep in mind, this next round is when the MLS teams do start to enter. So there is always that possibility as well. So this one played forward. It was, I believe, Sosa playing that cross in, and it's going to be tracked down by Morris. Oh, and what a dummy there from Medina. Connects with Godino now in the middle of the pitch. And Zali beats Medina to it and gets it all the way back to Ford Parker. Parker sends it long, only as far as Godino. This is Milan. Amore Neapolitan Pizzeria says thank you for 10 amazing years as New Mexico's first and only certified pizzeria, making dough, sauce, and their famous mozzarella cheese fresh for you daily. Offside flag is up here on the near side. So another free kick coming our way. Here's Garcia. To Morris. Medina gives this ball away. Garvanyan now connects with Doling. Garvanyan has a go, hits a curler with the left, and Castillo all over it.
I can't tell who it is. I think it was Santi Moore jumped off the bench because he thought that was in. He was convinced he was up ready to celebrate with Garvanyan there for his first pro goal, I guess. But wasn't to be. It was pretty comfortable for the goalkeeper. But again, you can see outside backs, Josh Suggs, Garvanyan both getting forward at every opportunity. It's interesting, Garvanyan playing on the right here. Both outside backs, both left-footed. So he's very comfortable cutting in on his left foot.
Kelowna connects with Vaparwo. Garvanyan. Here's Suggs now. Suggs going one-on-one with Rivas, and Rivas does well defensively. And it's going to result in a corner kick here for New Mexico. Bank of America corner kick with over 4,600 locations. Convenient banking is just around the corner. So it'll be interesting to see who sets up to take this one. It looks like it's going to be Justin Portillo. Get a look at the crowd over on the far side. You can see it's a supporter section that we've got going on here tonight as Portillo sends the signal, delivers this one. Going long to the back post. Kelowna gets ahead to it, fires it back for Hurst, and no, we've got,
I think it's a PK.
Is it a penalty? And it's going to be a penalty. The official pointing at the penalty spot.
It's just as the ball comes in there, you can see, I can't see who the defender is, just absolutely lights up. Kelowna, I think it is.
Kyle Kelowna,
yeah,
draws a foul. It was Garcia on that replay that you can see just bulldozes him.
and that's a gift because, you know, I think it wasn't really coming to much. Obviously, the goalkeeper, Castillo, dealt with the rebound pretty comfortably as well, but Justin Portillo, the Iceman, I tell you what, if there's a night that he would suit, then tonight's it, right?
Justin Portillo at the penalty spot. He's got one goal in league play so far. And Portillo, cool as you like, slots it home. And New Mexico goes up 2-0 here in the 40th minute. The Iceman cometh at Rio Rancho High School.
Yeah, I mean, was there ever really any doubt? Yeah, just slots it in bottom corner. I mean, going back to your point earlier on about Justin Portillo, top scorer last year, he was the man, set pieces, PKs, and he's such a reliable player to call on in those situations where it doesn't matter the pressure. I wouldn't say tonight was the most pressurized PKs ever taken. You can tell by his reaction, he was cool as a cucumber there. But yeah, I mean, it's very rare that he misses.
27 degrees outside with the wind chill. Perfect. 4 minutes plus stoppage left until the half. It's his second goal in all competitions for Justin Portillo, both of them coming by way of the penalty spot. So he took over penalty duties for New Mexico about midway through last season. Is Bruce on the run and tries to hit one quickly. Good save there by Castillo. So Ali comes up to win the challenge, and UDA still in possession. Looking for Rivas, and eventually ran out. So it'll be a throw in here for UDA. Excuse me, that was Birch, not Rivas. This ball is going to go all the way back out to Garcia now. Gudino, all by himself in the middle of the park. And eventually it's Kelowna coming up to strip possession from UDA. Vaparwo elects to go back to Kelowna, and now out to Sosa. New Mexico looked content to sit in possession here and build something up.
Yeah, probably with, when it's just one goal, UDA were probably happy, getting in at halftime at 1-0, then, trying to work out the plan for the second half. Now it's gone 2. They really have to come out of their shape at some point, and you've got to imagine that New Mexico United will have the quality to pick them apart and be able to exploit those gaps. So they're just knocking the ball around, trying to pull UDA out of their shape a little bit, but so far UDA, you can see that line of 5 at the back there, just not giving too much space for New Mexico United to be able to play in.
Hurst connects with Vaparwo. His through ball is stopped there only momentarily as Bruce comes back to get it from Morris. Lays it off, does Bruce. Here's the goal scorer, Jose Sosa. Sosa, you see just how quick and shifty he is. He, along with Kelowna, made the squad as trialists. It's going to be a corner kick here. Bank of America corner kick for New Mexico.
That's a Bank of America corner kick for New Mexico.
2-0 our score here with halftime quickly approaching here in the 44th minute. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call. Here's Justin Portillo. Hits it to Suggs atop the box, and that one almost got through. It was Gudino who is playing on the goal line, able to make the clearance. As Garcia turns this one over. And New Mexico will go all the way back to Fort Parker to reset.
That looked like one from the training ground there. It's just Portillo just waiting for the movement to happen, and then Suggs sprang to the top of the 18-yard box and completely wide open. Just didn't quite get enough on the shot. And I think, was it Vaparwo or was it Doling who maybe could have had a little flick to change the direction of it, and if he got that touch, it would have caused a lot more trouble for the goalkeeper there, Castillo.
Ball bouncing around the midfield. Eventually it's UDA coming down. Here's Medina, back heels it. Morris able to retain possession. Here's Medina now. Up top, they've got Huck, but the offside flag is up. So a Fiesta Auto free kick here for New Mexico. And actually, no stoppage time. That's going to be the end of the first half. New Mexico United on top of UDA 2-0. Chris, before we go to break, your thoughts on the first 45?
Pretty comfortable for New Mexico United. There was a big period in the middle of the half there where they maybe struggled to create any chances, but 2-0, and I expect to see them really put their stamp of authority on the game in the second half here.
It's halftime. The score 2-0, presented by First Financial Credit Union here in the U.S. Open Cup. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
I hear him chatting the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, man so tough, but mans keep walking. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch man, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees, I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
This is a story about creativity, education, entrepreneurship, and cookies.
Well, mostly about cookies. Want to try one?
Kristen, where'd you learn to bake?
My grandma was my first teacher. She told me it was okay to be creative and take risks.
Like what?
Like green chili cookies. I haven't quite cracked the code on those yet.
Bummer. Was it a risk to open a bakery?
Definitely. But CNM gave me the skills to turn that passion into a reality.
That's amazing. At CNM, it's one college, infinite possibilities.
Part desert, part mountain, part river. Albuquerque offers outdoor exhilaration you can't find anywhere else. Spend the perfect day hiking, biking, or even hot air ballooning. All within minutes of a vibrant city. Whether you're exploring hundreds of miles of trails or hundreds of years of history, Albuquerque will take your breath away. Start planning your Albuquerque adventure at visitabq.org.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. It is halftime, brought to you by Smith's Fresh for Everyone. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here in the booth. It's been a fun first 45 here, Chris, at Rio Rancho High School, U.S. Open Cup, first-time matchup between UDA and New Mexico United. You gave us a quick little synopsis there before we went to the break. What do you think the halftime talk is here in the locker room for UDA?
For UDA, I think, the second goal came probably during their best period. They were starting to get a foothold while the chances they were creating weren't very clear. There was a pot shot from distance. That's really the only one I can really remember. But in terms of territory, they were actually starting to gain a foothold in the game. So I think that's probably what the talk is, get back to where they gain some territory, a little more conviction, a little more confidence in the final third and see where it takes them.
Looking at some of the numbers here in the first half, New Mexico with over 70% possession. They did hit the woodwork. Just want to clarify that shot that you suspected from Josh Doling did, in fact, clip that. And so let's go ahead and have a look here at our first half highlights and see how things played out. Brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. Starting things off early, Daniel Bruce connecting with a former UCLA Bruin, Jose Sosa. first New Mexico United goal.
Yeah, and it was the story of the first half was Daniel Bruce in this right-hand channel here, wide right channel here, where he was just getting a ton of joy against the left back Morris and putting the ball in some dangerous areas. You see some pot shots from distance. That was one for UDA there. Doling found himself at the top of the 18-yard box quite a bit. There's another one from there. He found the ball quite a bit in that area. And, maybe a chance will come from that. A goal might come from that in the second half. But there's the PK. And again, it was just a deep cross into the back post there. And it was Kelowna nodded the ball back into the 18-yard box. The goalkeeper, Castillo, dealt with the shot, but the referee called the PK because the defender, I think it was Garcia, is that right? Who just went steaming into the tackle when he really didn't need to. He was never going to get there, and he just didn't quite slow his feet down before he got there. Contact, and I think it was a pretty easy call for the referee.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, just a few shots from distance there for UDA. The total shots, 9-2, 9 in favor of New Mexico. 6 of those 9 have been on target, and as we mentioned, one of those hitting the woodwork. And New Mexico just really dominating in all facets, as we mentioned already, Chris. The 70% possession, outpassing UDA 330-140, and then the possession in the opposition half, it's astronomical for New Mexico.
Yeah, but, I mean, all right, let's throw a cliche out there. If you're UDA, it's 2-0, hardest lead in sport to keep, so that's really what they've got to hang the hat on, right? Is while it's being dominant in certain ways for New Mexico United, it's still only 2-0. So one goal completely changes the complexity of this game. So that's where it has to start. It starts with one and see where that can take them. Yeah,
and you got to keep in mind, in this round last season, New Mexico were very comfortable with a 5-0 win. So not quite there just yet. Still plenty to go tonight. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back on the other side of this with our second half.
This is a story about creativity, education, entrepreneurship, and cookies.
Well, mostly about cookies. Want to try one?
Kristen, where'd you learn to bake?
My grandma was my first teacher. She told me it was okay to be creative and take risks.
Like what?
Like green chili cookies. I haven't quite cracked the code on those yet.
Bummer. Was it a risk to open a bakery?
Definitely. But CNM gave me the skills to turn that passion into a reality.
That's amazing. At CNM, it's one college, infinite possibilities.
Part desert, part mountain, part river. Albuquerque offers outdoor exhilaration you can't find anywhere else. Spend the perfect day hiking, biking, or even hot air ballooning. All within minutes of a vibrant city. Whether you're exploring hundreds of miles of trails or hundreds of years of history, Albuquerque will take your breath away. Start planning your Albuquerque adventure at visitabq.org.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Back here at Rio Rancho High School, Tyler Ortega and Chris Hurst, as our second half is just moments away. As we're working on getting some updated substitutions for you here, and we will, in fact, see some changes for New Mexico. Entering is going to be midfielder Andres Robles, as he's going to be replacing Michael Vaparlo. I believe we're also going to see another sub for New Mexico, and in fact we will. Another Albuquerque native, Sergio Rivas, will be replacing the Scotsman Greg Hurst. Not sure if any subs have come on for UDA just yet, waiting to see from the fourth official. As we are hearing up here that Kyler Huck has been replaced actually by Sale Aliones.
Do it again.
Aliones is actually a high school senior from Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's enrolled at Centennial High. And so for the 17-year-old getting in a game like this, Chris, that is just big time.
That's amazing, isn't it? And, you know, we were just saying during the break there, Alex Reyes on the bench for UDA. He's a coach, I believe, on the women's side at Centennial as well. So he was out warming him up. But what a moment for him to be able to step out. And, again, great crowd tonight as well. So being able to play in a stadium like this in front of a decent crowd, big moment for the boy.
The former San Diego State Aztec, Kyle Colonna. Wonder if he was watching the basketball game last night. As Parker sends this one over the head of Garvanyan. As Garvanyan covered some ground in that first half. He was seemingly everywhere for New Mexico.
So New Mexico United just changed their shape with those subs as well. It was a very much a 4-4-2 in the first half. They've gone to a 4-3-3. It looks like Sosa's moved left forward, Bruce right forward, Doling down the middle, and Rivas just playing in the whole number 10 slot just behind Doling as well.
Portillo able to poke that one away. Here's Bruce looking to connect with the substitute Andres Robles. So we mentioned all of the substitutions, those brought to you by REDW, CPAs, and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity.
I apologize, you're right. It's Robles who's come out on this left side, and Sosa's gone into the middle alongside Portillo. So it's Portillo, Sosa, and Rivas as the three midfielders. Rivas is the more advanced of those three guys.
Portillo does well to win the ball there. Falls to Sosa now. Sosa over to Suggs. Looking for Robles. And Castillo tries to get out of trouble, gives it away, and it's going to be a goal for Josh Doling. And New Mexico take a 3-0 lead here in the 48th minute.
That was just a bad play by Castillo. There's a slight question of offside there because Doling was goal side of the goalkeeper, but I do believe the left centre-back Garcia as well as Olsen were both behind him as well, but I believe it was Robles who has been on the field for a minute or two here, gets his first assist for New Mexico United, just hunts down the ball, pokes the ball away from Castillo, right into the path of the grateful Doling, who rolls it into an empty net.
And Josh Doling, just like that, opens his New Mexico United account with a goal here in the U.S. Open Cup. Scored 9 times for St. Louis City 2 last season. Off the mark here in black and yellow. That goal brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. There's Gudino. That ball is poked away. Going to ground was Jose Rivas. He's still down. And then the official now will halt play as Rivas being checked on by Parker and Alionis. You can see just a little bit of an issue with the right leg. Said Rivas out of Mexico City. Suggs comes back to check on him, and you can see the sportsmanship from Josh Suggs, and that's why he's been the captain for so long. But here's the DLC replay, a look back at that goal, and unfortunately for Castillo, just ran out of room there.
Yeah, it's not one that he's going to want to see back, right? And, you were asking what UDA's halftime team talk be. That certainly wasn't part of it. It would have been, start the second half, don't give anything up, try and get a foothold in the game, and really everything they talked about at halftime is unfortunately out the window, and it probably is a question now. You can see they look a little deflated, especially Castillo. After the goal, when the ball was dead, he was down on his haunches there, just having a word with himself, essentially, but they have to find a way to try and cause New Mexico United some issues, which they've struggled to do so far, but here's an opportunity right now.
Zali gives this one away. Here's Rivas coming back the other way. Excuse me, that's Gudino. Rivas asking for it over here on the near side. And Zali stepping in to poke that one away. Eventually, Portillo sends it across to Josh Suggs. Suggs on the near side. Josh to Josh. Doling gives it back to Suggs. Rivas now, the Cibola High School graduate. Here goes Suggs. And that pass picked away before he could connect with Doling. This one goes back to Caleb Olson. Now they go far side, it's Birch. Still on the run. The cross goes in, cleared away by Kelowna just for a moment. And the shot attempt is blocked from Alionis, and the 17-year-old Chris with a golden opportunity there.
Yeah, you can see he's full of confidence there, and he's not afraid, takes it back onto his left foot, gets a strike, decent block, but you can see Ford Parker, he's just trying to make sure his back line there are concentrating, don't give anything away. Zach Prince marching up and down the sideline as well, having words with his defenders, want to make sure that there's the concentration levels are maximum here.
Bank of America corner kick coming up here for UDA, their first corner of the evening. It's going to be sent into the box, looking back post. Garcia gets ahead to it. Alionis gets the next touch, goes back out. Poked around a couple times. The offside flag is up on the near side, so unfortunately for UDA, that is all for naught. And you can see the frustration there from the men in white.
Yeah, you see Garcia there was ready to do a lap of honor. It looked like he was ready to take off, but he was clearly offside there. So yeah, good job by the AR, but that was the moment. You can see if they can create a couple more chances like that, then maybe they can get themselves back into the game here.
Here's Suggs. Rivas now. Goes back to Sosa. So two of the three goal scorers here for New Mexico getting off the mark this season. In fact, scoring their first goals for the club here tonight. Being Sosa and Doling. Garvanian connects with Daniel Bruce. Bruce, 30 appearances last season in league play, made 14 starts for New Mexico. Eventually commits the foul, does Daniel Bruce. We've got a Fiesta Auto free kick. See New Mexico still pressuring as they come away with the turnover here. Robles looking to poke this forward for Rivas. Instead, it's cleared away. Going back to the former Aztec, Kyle Colonna. Connects with Robles. The through ball here for Suggs. And the veteran getting on his horse to track this one down. Goes into the box. Falls to Bruce. And Daniel Bruce with an absolute belter. Put that on SportsCenter.
So what a through ball from Robles, and is there anything better to see than Josh Suggs at full sprint? Puts a lovely ball in, moves around inside the box a little bit, falls to Daniel Bruce, and would it be a game involving Daniel Bruce without a Brucey banger?
A Brucey banger, hashtag it, put it on the Twitter machine, whatever you got to do. Daniel Bruce makes it 4-0 here in the 55th minute. I was just about to say Bruce had 2 goals last season. Right before I looked up and I see Josh Suggs making the run down, and Daniel Bruce, the Englishman, you know, it's got to be big for his confidence as well.
So wait, are you trying to claim an assist there? Is that what I'm hearing?
Look, sometimes you just got to put things out there. I didn't say it, though. So we're going to see another debut here for New Mexico, as Justin Portillo is going to be replaced by Miles Merritt, another native New Mexican that made his way up through the New Mexico United Academy. Miles Merritt out of Albuquerque. He's on an academy contract. As we mentioned, this is his first season with the first team. He joined the New Mexico United Academy back in 2021, played on the U23 team in USL League 2 last season. He's a state champion with Sandia Prep. Played with his youth soccer with Rio Rapids and NMSA.
Yeah, it's actually great. Like it is. It's like a pretty, I guess, a proud moment. Seeing kids who either coached or watched come through the thing, like Andres Robles played for New Mexico Rush, seeing him play right now. And I say Miles, I had the pleasure of coaching him when he was younger for a couple of years. It was Milo Garvanian as well. Josh Suggs, former Rio Rapids player as well. He gave me grief about 3 weeks ago because I never gave him a Rio shout out. So there it is, Suggs. But yeah, it's great to see so many local soccer prospects who've come through the youth ranks here in New Mexico on the pitch tonight.
You know, and one name that we haven't said who's really been the example through the first few years is Christian Nava, right? And unfortunately, a serious injury ending his season after just a game and not even a half here in 2023. But, you know, Nava was really the first one to take that path and really show these guys that it's possible. And now this is the result. You see Merritt, you see Robles. We've seen Alex Wagner be in some match day squads for New Mexico as well. And so, you know, it's good to see the kids here of New Mexico just having that hope, really.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I forgot to mention, obviously, Sergio Rivas as well. You know,
Yep.
a long time, you know, New Mexico soccer prospect, played for New Mexico Rush as well. So, yeah, it is. It's really great to see that pathway and these guys really doing their thing. And, you know, like for Milo Garvanian, I'm not sure if Tommy Smith, longtime Sun Devil head coach, is watching, but I'm sure he's smiling if he's seeing him out on the pitch for New Mexico United as well.
It's Ford Parker, as we were just touching on all the New Mexican talent. Ford Parker, another, as he came up through Sandia High School.
And Rio Rapids as well. How could
Rio
I
Rapids
forget?
as well. There we go.
I'll get grief for that one.
Suggs connects here with Sosa. Sosa looking to play Merritt forward. And the offside flag goes up against the Albuquerque native, Miles Merritt. The 18-year-old Miles Merritt. This is awesome to see so much youth and so much talent out there this evening on both sides. You know, and the thing for this NMSU UDA team is that every single player out there, they're all students. A requirement of this program is to be academically enrolled. So not only are they using the game of soccer to change lives, but also education as well. As I mentioned earlier, it's an incredible program. If you haven't really heard of it, look them up and just see all the good that they're doing for the game of soccer and just people down in southern New Mexico. And it also leads to cool stuff that we get to do like this, right, Chris?
No, for sure. And like you say, it's a little bit of history tonight, and the fact that so many people, you know, I'm sure there's people who've traveled up from Las Cruces as well. But, you know, so many people have turned up to witness that little bit of history here.
Here's Doling on a brace already. Goes back to Bruce. Now Merritt. Robles tries to chip, and he sends it over the crossbar. And Chris, perhaps a little too unselfish there.
Yeah, I think it seemed like when Doling got in the box, he was trying to see who he could set up. And, you know, he saw the two academy guys and they were maybe trying to work it to either Merritt or Robles there. And a little rush of adrenaline at the last second for Robles, and he just puts it over the bar.
Andres Robles also looking to open his account here with the senior team. And what a goal that would have been. As we are officially at the 60-minute mark here this evening at Rio Rancho High School. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call as New Mexico United hosting UDA NMSU. This historic first-time matchup between two New Mexico clubs here in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Here's Merritt. Goes back to Brucey. Looking for the brace. Bruce goes down. The official points to the penalty spot. And New Mexico have a chance to make it 5-0 coming up here momentarily.
And you can just see a little change since halftime, and it was really with moving Sosa into the middle. The ball speed has just increased so much for New Mexico United that UDA are just really struggling to hang with it at this point. And there, the passing and moving, and Daniel Bruce just turns the corner, and he's breaking into the box, and it was just a clumsy tackle. And yeah, a chance, and it really is, unfortunately for UDA, it's unraveling a little bit here, and it really is a question now of how many could New Mexico United get?
New Mexico, if you're keeping track, they put up 5 against Las Vegas Legends in this very tie last season. They put up 7 against Phoenix Rising in league play last season. That is the all-time high. With just under half an hour to go, that 7 mark could be in danger. As Doling at the penalty spot, he's already scored once tonight in the 48th minute. Here's Doling on the right foot. And Doling slots home from the penalty spot. And New Mexico United go up 5-0 on UDA. Second goal of the night for the Englishman, Josh Doling.
The curse over there are going to have to start rationing their smoke bombs, it looks like. But yeah, another cool PK there. Pops it in the opposite corner to the one that Portillo went earlier on. And sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Castillo dives to his left, and it's popped in his bottom right-hand corner.
So Josh Doling scored 9 goals last season with St. Louis City 2 in MLS Next Pro. He's got 2 goals to his name here so far this evening. As we're back underway here, 62nd minute. That goal brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. Here's New Mexico on the hunt for more. It seems as though United have just stepped up the intensity, Chris, as the match has gone on. Rivas turns this ball over. Olsen comes up with that, goes back to Castillo. Is it right to Sosa, and Sosa unable to get to that in time. Here's Rivas. Lays it off. Aliones. And Aliones goes to ground. Foul called on Josh Suggs. A little bit of Las Cruces on Las Cruces crime right there, Chris.
How long have you been waiting to use that one?
Truth be told, I just thought of it. There's a few things I'm keeping in the can, though.
I'm excited.
Might go full Ray Hudson one of these days.
You got to do the accent as well, though.
Fiesta Auto free kick here for UDA. Jose Puentes Rivas to take as he lays this one off. Milan plays it in, and it's sent over the crossbar. Goal kick coming up here for New Mexico. Looks like we're going to be seeing a substitution coming on here for UDA here in just a moment. It's going to be defender Alfredo Viescas to be coming on here in just a moment. This ball headed all the way back to Birch. Castillo gets into a bit of trouble again. Daniel Bruce and Josh Doling causing some issues, and now the offside flag goes up. But Castillo showing his frustration over off to the side after that whistle. 65th minute. New Mexico United on top 5-0 here in the second round of the U.S. Open Cup. Again, the draw for the next round will be on Thursday. So all of you New Mexico United fans, barring some sort of miracle comeback here by UDA, New Mexico United fans will want to tune in on Thursday for the U.S. Open Cup draw for the next round. Find out when and where your team will be playing. This is Birch. Rivas now turns on the Jets. Here's Sergio Rivas. Gets it back from Robles. Rivas goes back to Suggs now. Sosa. Back to Tim Zali. Connects with Daniel Bruce over on the far side. Play on, says the official. And Bruce eventually walled off. Here comes Suggs, stepping in to make the interception. Tries to dribble through the double team and loses possession. There does Josh Suggs. So Sep Puente trying to connect with Aliones, but Garvanyan able to stick a foot in there and get it back to Parker instead. This is Jose Sosa. 4-year starter at UCLA and Pacific University. 3-time All-Conference, 1-time All-Region. It was also an All-USL League II honoree just last season. Garvanyan stepping up to poke that one out, and now looks like we will finally see a couple of substitutions here for UDA. Heading off is Eduardo Medina. He's going to be replaced by Alfredo Viescas. We're also going to see midfielder Daniel Ruiz entering the match, as he's going to replace Matias Cavallo.
For number 40, Eduardo Medina. Also entering the game, number 15.
Danny Ruiz, a sophomore out of Mexico, the industrial engineering major, boasting a 3.5 GPA.
CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity.
Garvanyan now in possession. Back to Zali, now Kyle Colonna. Robles lays this one off, goes back to Zali. And Colonna does very well there to protect the ball. That one was a little dicey there, Chris.
Yeah, it was a little risky, wasn't it? But he did well, just too strong and able to roll out of the challenge and ride the challenge.
Robles goes down. Get up, says the official. We continue. Zali. And that is a hard challenge from Garcia, and the yellow card is going to be shown as Tim Zali, the Swiss-American, goes down as we get another look there in our TLC replay. It was a cracking challenge there, Chris.
Yeah, that's an orange. I think that was he meant everything. There was probably a little bit of frustration, born from frustration. That tackle a little bit, comes all the way from centre back to make that challenge as well. I mean, he was committed, but yeah, it was a yellow plus, let's say.
Coming off the restart here. 70th minute, 5-0. New Mexico United on top. Doling with a brace. Bruce, Sosa, and Portillo, the other goal scorers. Speaking of, here comes Robles from Sosa. Plays it in. And making the run, looking for a hat trick, was Josh Doling. Throw-in coming up here for New Mexico.
That was a lovely early ball from Robles there. You can see Doling, it was just begging to be put into the back of the net. And Doling, full stretch, just couldn't quite get his studs on the end of it. But what a great ball with his left foot from Robles.
Kelowna connects with Suggs. It looks like we're going to be seeing Will Seymour entering the match for New Mexico United. Wouldn't be surprised if he replaces Ali following that challenge that we just saw. Here's Doling. Looking to battle with Birch there for possession, and Birch does very well. Connects with Jose Puente, and it's poked out by Miles Merritt. And now we will see the substitution. And actually, it will not be Timothy Zali. Instead, Josh Suggs is getting replaced. So Will Seymour will slot in over at the right back. Garvanyan will come back over to the left side where you mentioned, Chris, he's probably a little bit more comfortable being a lefty there. And Will Seymour back in that right back spot where he played a number of minutes last season for Zach Prince.
Yeah, but I mean, mentioning, Garvanian coming onto the left side here, how well he's done at right back, first professional start, and on his weak side essentially, very left foot. You can see every pass, almost every pass, 90% of his passes with his left foot, but did so well on that right side. So yeah, Josh Suggs just taken off there, and he gets to stretch his legs on the left here now.
Doling has been battling with Olsen and Garcia all night long. Here's Merritt. Lays it off for Seymour. Well, Seymour, the Colorado Springs native. Made 27 starts last year for New Mexico. 31 appearances in total. Scored once. Obviously doing most of his work defensively, where he had 90 clearances and 56 interceptions to go along with 40 tackles on the year. That shot attempt is well off target from Miles Merritt. So 73rd minute here at Rio Rancho High School. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst. It's New Mexico United rolling right along here in round number 2 of the U.S. Open Cup. Thought about taking it quickly there. Did Viescas. Instead, turned over here to New Mexico. Looking for the through ball on a hat trick. It's Josh Doling, and Josh Doling slots it in. 3 goals for the Englishman. 6-0 United on top.
You just see that New Mexico United, they just changed the pace of the game. Just a couple of little one-touch passes, through ball. Doling sprung through the middle and just slots it. I think he even put it between Castillo's legs there as well. But yeah, great little thing. Little through ball there. I think it's Robles with his 2nd assist of the night as well. First time, perfect weight on the pass and just pops it through his legs.
And a big time goal here for Josh Doling. I reckon he might be taking home the match ball this evening. His first career hat trick for New Mexico United. Chris, I'm checking my notes. I cannot confirm this right now, but I believe this may be the first hat trick in U.S. Open Cup play for New Mexico United. Looking back at that 5-0 win last year, is Kiesewetter with 2 Other than that, I don't believe we've had any hat tricks in Open Cup play so far. We'll work on getting confirmation on that for you.
Wasn't there a year one game where there was a pretty big scoreline? UNM? Am I imagining that?
No, back in 2019.
You're just making up stats. Just
back in
I can't prove wrong, right? Yeah. Okay.
Back in 2019, United actually played their entire U.S. Open Cup run on the road. They were in Phoenix the first time, in Springs the second, and then Rapids, FC Dallas, on to Minnesota.
Yep, I think you're right, yeah.
So I know there's somebody out there that's going to fact check us. So let us know. Holler at us on Twitter. Send Chris all the mean tweets. It's Daniel Bruce trying to chase this one down. Connects with it. Here's Doling. Merritt. Rivas now has a go. Rivas has that one saved by the keeper as Castillo called into action here in the 75th minute. And Sergio Rivas feeling it from distance there.
I'd say he's been feeling it since he came on the pitch. It's definitely his introduction at halftime has made a huge difference. Just the way how fast he moves the ball. And again, he looks like a man on the mission, kind of trying to prove a point. He's been at the center of a lot of good things that New Mexico United have done in the second half.
Bank of America corner kick. It's Daniel Bruce to deliver. Goal and an assist for Bruce here tonight. So this one is headed away at the back post. And a foul is going to be called. And it's going to be a yellow card shown.
The referee has shown Will Ferguson and Associates yellow card to number 61, Miles Merritt.
So that yellow card brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. When you've been fouled, call Will Ferguson and Associates, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Seymour does well defensively. It's going to be a goal kick here for New Mexico. Here's Rivas. It was Miles Merritt picking up that yellow card just moments ago. Merritt unable to link up there with Robles in the midfield. Leads to a break here for Puente. Able to spread it on the far side. Zali closing down, and great defensive work by the Swiss-American Timothy Zali.
That's the Bank of America corner kick for UDA.
So corner kick coming up. Marco Milan headed over to take. Milan on a yellow card already. Making his third appearance here in the U.S. Open Cup is Milan, the 20-year-old. Here's Sosa. Pokes this one forward, but only as far as Danny Ruiz. And now New Mexico able to regain possession. Here's Merritt. He's got plenty of space. Garcia now comes over to close him down. Bruce. He's got Doling in the box, who's already got a hat trick. I go back to Seymour. Rivas now. Connects with his fellow Albuquerque native, Milo Garvanyan. The ball there from Doling just out of reach for Milo, and it's going to be a goal kick here for UDA. Here's Olsen. 19-year-old Caleb Olsen. Very youthful squad here for UDA. So you can imagine While it may not be going the way that they'd like on the scoreboard, they have shown some really good flashes here this evening.
Yeah, the one thing that maybe they don't want to see is a fresh Santi Moore about to come off the bench, which looks like he's about to enter the fray here. Maybe for Dolan, the hat-trick hero so far.
Santi Moar looking to make his first appearance in the U.S. Open Cup for New Mexico since that magical goal he scored up at the Allianz in Minneapolis back in the summer of 2019. We won't talk about what happened after that Santi Moar goal.
We can talk about those 5 minutes, though.
It was
where
the
everyone dreamt, right?
Single greatest 8 minutes in New Mexico United history. This ball played forward for Robles. Cuts it back. Robles goes down to ground. No, says the official. And we play on. Yeah, Chris, you were actually calling that game up in Minnesota. I was down actually in the traveling section of United fans on the opposite end of where Santi hit that goal. And it was, as we mentioned, just an incredible time. And so Santi Moar, the one-man wrecking crew from Ordez, Spain, will be entering the match as he replaces the hat-trick hero Josh Dolan.
And just while this substitution's going on, Miles Merritt just gave away another foul there, and he just has to be a little bit careful, as you said earlier. Just picked up the yellow card, and he's still, running on adrenaline there, and just went flying into another tackle. So you can see the referee just had a quiet little word with him, asking him to calm down.
And so for Zach Prince, those are all the subs off the bench. So a little bit of squad rotation here this evening, as we suspected we would see. Of course, you want to keep your first team players fresh here for the upcoming match that they have. USL Championship season in full swing. As New Mexico 1-1-0 on the season thus far, picking up a win in their season opener on the road in Miami. Justin Portillo with the game winner there from the penalty spot, followed by a 1-0 loss out in Oakland this past weekend. And that's going to set things up for this Saturday when New Mexico United travel back out to the Bay Area. They're going to be playing at Cardinale Stadium against Monterey Bay. It's just the third ever meeting between the two sides. And then, Chris, after that, finally, our turn for our home opener, April 15th, next Saturday. Next Saturday, San Diego Loyal coming to the lab. Tickets still available, so if you haven't got them yet, you should. Jump on to SeatGeek, go on to NewMexicoUTD.com, lock in your tickets for the 2023 home opener. There's going to be a special giveaway flag that night. I've seen the design. Super cool. That's all I can say until then. But again, April 15th, San Diego Loyal. Go get your tickets. I am very much looking forward to that one.
You mean that's all you can say on air, right? You're obviously going to tell me what it looks right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, I could just show you a picture real quick. Hold on.
I can't keep secrets. Yeah, no, it does seem like, right, it's crazy how, like, a team, Tulsa have already played 5 games in the USL Championship. New Mexico United still only just played 2. Just those 2 bye weeks in the first 3 weeks has been killer for any kind of momentum that they maybe could have gained from that Miami in the opening, their opening game. It wasn't even the opening week, right? They sat out the opening week, sat out week 3 as well.
And so it's going to lead to a bit of a congested schedule down the road for New Mexico. Doesn't leave a whole lot of room for bye weeks as the season goes on. There's a handball going to be called there against New Mexico. We're going to see one more substitution here for UDA. Aaron McCall will be entering.
For number 39, Alan Guadino. There's no substitution for integrity or EDW.
As he replaces Marco Milan. Or excuse me, as Guadino, my apologies. Guadino wearing the captain's armband here this evening. The 19-year-old out of Mexico. This is Milan. Connects with Birch. This is Danny Ruiz, and has his pocket picked. New Mexico looking to break. Here's the Spaniard, Santi Moar. And the offside flag goes up against Daniel Bruce. And that was not far off, Chris.
Yeah, that timing was pretty close. The movement by Bruce was really good. Split the two defenders, rolled into his path by Moore. Good line held by the UDA. Two centre-backs there. Just rolled in, but I tell you what, an emphatic finish by Daniel Bruce as well, though.
Yeah, in a game like this for Daniel Bruce could be absolutely huge early on. Getting your feet under you, you pick up an assist in the 3rd minute, go on to score a goal, go on to create numerous opportunities after that, including the one we just saw. So, you know, Bruce will be hoping that this leads to some more regular starts for him this season, as he picked up 14 starts last year. A lot of those coming in the absence of other United wingers. Well, they were hurt. But Bruce played 30 games last year, Chris, so he's an important part of Zach Prince's plans, as you can tell. Here's Moar. Santi Moar. And Moar, still Moar, and he has it poked away finally.
I said earlier on, the last thing a tired UDA defense wants to see is Santi Moar, fresh as a daisy, coming off the bench, and just picks up the ball there and just running in between players and just so positive when he touched the ball there.
Merritt connects with Seymour on the far side. Back to Sosa now. Yeah, and Santi Moar, you mentioned, he is one of those guys that once he gets a full head of steam, he is hard to stop. As New Mexico United fans saw that for themselves back in 2019, where the Spaniard made 33 appearances for the Black and Yellow in USL Championship play, making 5 appearances in US Open Cup play. He scored 12 goals in all comps back in 2019, and so New Mexico hoping that he refines that form again this season.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about earlier on, right? When you said Justin Portillo was the top scorer last year, that's probably that's a good thing, getting goals from midfield, but you need your attacking players to really contribute, and that's, again, no slight, you know, Wehan had a injury hit kind of year as well, kind of in and out of the team. Moreno obviously coming back from his ACL injury. So the pieces that they added and the guys coming back to hopefully fitness and form will, you know, it looks like it's going to, again, like an exciting year if they can get it to click.
You mentioned Justin Portillo, 8 goals scored in 34 appearances for New Mexico last year, as Bruce goes to ground, wins the free kick, and you can tell just after he got to ground, he just dropped his head, and you can see the shift that Daniel Bruce has put in here today.
Yeah, definitely. You can see he had an opportunity to play an early ball. I think it was Miles Merritt was breaking into the top of the 18-yard box there. You could see Miles' eyes get big and wide, thinking that maybe a chance was going to come his way. But Bruce just wanted to take that extra touch there, and then, yeah, just ran out of steam a little bit.
So a Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here for New Mexico United. 88th minute, 6-0 your score. So it's been a valiant effort here from the visitors, as one more substitution for UDA. Midfielder Luis Angula will come on. He replaces Marco Milan. Luis Angulo out of Venezuela, the 22-year-old. As the danger will be cleared away by UDA, only as far as Will Seymour. Looking for Moar, the offside flag is up. And the Spaniard does not agree with it, as most forwards usually don't.
I was going to say, yeah, when do attacking players ever agree with that?
So Castillo will bring it out for a Fiesta Auto free kick. Hang around with us after the match. We'll be coming back to do a little bit of a recap. We've got some full-time highlights. We'll go through our man of the match, save of the match, all of our honors that we've got here for this evening. This one winding down here. 89th minute at Rio Rancho High School. Garcia turns that one over. Seymour now. Lays it off to Garvanyan. 23-year-old Milo Garvanyan has played well here tonight, Chris.
It's been tremendous. It's been fun watching him play. Obviously, like I say, I saw him growing up playing before he moved to the Colorado Rapids Academy and before obviously going out to North Carolina. But yeah, he's just so calm on the ball. So calm on the ball. Nothing phases him, and he knows when to move at one touch. He knows when to maybe take space. And like I said earlier, he just looks so effortless when he's running up and down the sideline. I wouldn't be surprised. I would love to see him be in and around the squad for a USL Championship game. I really think he could do a job for New Mexico United.
Yeah, and you can see with the...
Not biased at all.
You can see, I mean, the coaching staff, obviously, you get a squad number like number 2, right? It's very clearly you're planning on probably being in or around the 18 on match days more often than not. And so it's going to be interesting to see the way that this squad develops over this coming season and how these new players fit in, especially the young players like you were mentioning, like a Milo, or, we didn't get to see him tonight, but Alex Wagner as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And I know Wags is going off to Michigan in the fall, I believe. But hopefully seeing him, he had a great preseason, right? Kind of lots of excitement around him for, in the preseason games. Was at El Paso where he scored the opening goal. Yeah.
And that is the full-time whistle here at Rio Rancho High School as New Mexico United defeats UDA NMSU 6-0. It was a scoring fest. Justin Portillo, Sosa, Daniel Bruce, all with a goal apiece. Josh Doling, the Englishman, with a hat trick for the boys in turquoise in black. Chris, before we go to break, just give us a quick rundown of what you saw.
Job done for New Mexico United. Brilliant second half. Really put the UDA team to the sword with showed their real class and quality in the second half.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back to put a bow on it here tonight. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the U.S. Open Cup.
I hear 'em chatting the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear 'em chat with the boys, man so tough, but man's keep walking. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch man, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east.
This is a story about creativity, education, entrepreneurship, and cookies.
Well, mostly about cookies. Want to try one?
Kristen, where'd you learn to bake?
My grandma was my first teacher. She told me it was okay to be creative and take risks.
Like what?
Like green chili cookies. I haven't quite cracked the code on those yet.
Bummer. Was it a risk to open a bakery?
Definitely. But CNM gave me the skills to turn that passion into a reality.
That's amazing. At CNM, it's one college, infinite possibilities.
Part desert, part mountain, part river. Albuquerque offers outdoor exhilaration you can't find anywhere else. Spend the perfect day hiking, biking, or even hot air ballooning. All within minutes of a vibrant city. Whether you're exploring hundreds of miles of trails or hundreds of years of history, Albuquerque will take your breath away. Start planning your Albuquerque adventure at visitabq.org.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
Welcome back here to Rio Rancho High School. full-time score presented by Duke City Cares is 6-0 in favor of the black and yellow. That is Josh Doling. He is your Pepsi Man of the Match here tonight at the hat trick and an all-around great performance for the Englishman.
Yeah, I mean, you score a hat trick, he's got to be happy with that. Scores your first goal and gets the second and third on the same night, and some really tidy finishes as well.
We've got some full-time highlights to have a look at, so let's go ahead and jump right into those, presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. It got started here early, Chris, with Daniel Bruce connecting with former UCLA Bruin Jose Sosa in the 3rd minute, and that really just started things off for New Mexico.
Yeah, Daniel Bruce, right channel. We talked about it at halftime. It was the story of the first half. Second half, a little quieter on that side. We used the left side a lot more. Changed the formation a little bit in the second half, New Mexico United. That was really one of the better chances for UDA, other than the disallowed goal for offside, obviously. And yeah, there was Doling. He had a couple of little sighters early on, and we were curious, was it going to happen? This is the PK. You can see the foul just at the back of the box there. Just clumsy tackle, and really cool finish by Justin Portillo there. And, then again, like UDA after 2-0, that's when they had their best period of the game. And it was the second half. This was the goal that really kind of started it in the second half for New Mexico. Great work by Robles. Finds a really thankful Doling there. And New Mexico United just went from strength to strength then.
Yeah, and New Mexico really got things going in the second half, as that goal seemed to be like the one for UDA. However, as you saw, the offside flag came up, and then Daniel Bruce with an absolute missile into the twine, Chris. As you said it, no game would be complete without a Brucey banger, as Bruce followed that up by drawing a penalty, which then allowed Josh Doling to bag the brace there in the 61st minute, and then Doling putting a bow on the present here with his 3rd goal of the night, the hat-trick hero. And New Mexico eventually for Fort Parker, that was our save of the night, actually, brought to you by Invigorate Roofing. For Fort Parker, he really didn't have a whole lot to do. The defense for New Mexico, very, very stout tonight.
Yeah, they really did try and keep UDA at arm's length for the majority of the night, and it was a really tough going for them.
And so that's just about going to do it here. Our play of the match, brought to you by Bud Light, is going to be Josh Doling with his 3rd goal of the night, bagging the hat trick. That is his first hat trick for New Mexico United. And so, again, New Mexico United fans, keep your eyes peeled on Thursday. That is when the draw for the next round of the U.S. Open Cup will take place. Stay tuned to see who, when, and where the black and yellow will be playing, as we get a look at Fort Parker coming up to talk to some family members up in the crowd. It's the magic of the U.S. Open Cup. And so, Chris, before we get out of here, your final thoughts.
I think, again, it was a job done, and obviously New Mexico United will hope that this is the kind of result that will spark their season to life heading into the Monterey game this weekend.
And so you mentioned it, Monterey on the weekend. The black and yellow will board a plane, head out to the Bay Area. Want to throw a big special shout out to the ProView Networks crew who are here in the house tonight, helping us get this broadcast up and running for all of you to enjoy. So again, big shout out to everyone part of the ProView TV crew. Alden Ioani on replay. We've got Jason Pohl directing. For Chris Hurst on color, my name is Tyler Ortega. 6-0 your final score. New Mexico United victorious.